Hey guys, Malcolm here. I finally got my pairing for round 8, game 7 of the US Open Chess Championships. I'm playing Ariv Debmizra. I'm white. Now, Ariv is rated 308, but he played a tournament last month where he gained 900 rating points that hasn't shown up in the pairing board. So he's actually like 900, but then he beat a 1400 rated player and he drew a 1550, and then his losses have been 1700 and up in this tournament. So this is probably a pretty dangerous opponent, actually. I'm glad that I have white. I'll be playing my normal. When you play kids, everything that they do is tactical. So I'm just gonna move around, and nothing's gonna be able to do anything. It's gonna be like a slow shuffling maneuvering game if I can help it, and hopefully that'll help to some degree. Because one would hope that I can sit there and be patient and whatever. And kids usually don't just sit there and figure it out and figure it out and figure it out. So we'll see how it goes. But I think there's a high degree of danger here, and because my opponent's rating is so low, it probably actually means like hugely negative things if I lose and not very much if I win, which is really unfortunate. I think that my opponent's rating will probably go up pretty significantly as a result of this tournament, but I have to be really careful. Anyways, I'm a little bit nervous about it. We're going to see how it goes. If I win this game, then I've got to see the standings later, but otherwise I'll probably just be headed home tomorrow. All right, see you guys after. Well, I already recorded this once, and I got halfway through and realized that I'd actually accidentally taken a picture of myself instead of recording, so we're going to try and do this again. Ariv was a young kid. I don't know how old he was, so I'm going to assume he's 9. And he played a gambit against me. Now, that should be good for me, and if I just remained calm, I would have been totally winning in the position, but I got a little bit flustered and didn't play as slowly as I should have. He was keeping notes on like an iPad or some kind of tablet, which is fine, that's allowed. But he kept, when he was trying to figure out what to do, he kept taking the iPad and then fiddling around with his hand. And what I think he was doing was holding the iPad and then drawing on his leg with his other hand. But it was really distracting because rather than watching the thing, first of all, I'm watching somebody move their arm all around. But second of all, it took me a while to figure out that he wasn't cheating and just playing all the moves on the iPad to see what would happen before then coming back to the board. He was not doing that. I want to be totally clear. But I had to spend a while. Like one of the arbiters was walking around and came up behind him and sorry, one second. Sorry, the air conditioning came on and that totally ruins the sound quality. Yeah, one of the arbiters came up behind him and saw what he was doing, and it was totally fine. I didn't like ask anybody or anything, but it was very weird. That's just an excuse. It was just an interesting thing about the game. Anyways, let's go to the board and let's see how the game went, because it was actually going pretty well up until a certain point, but I didn't get the opportunity to play boring against him, which is a little unfortunate. So I played e4 because I'm an e4 player, and my opponent plays d5 the Scandinavian. I played takes because that's the easy thing to do, and my opponent played knight f3, and I played bishop c4. Now I've already never seen this thing where my opponent doesn't take the pawn back with the queen right away, so what I should probably do here, or what the normal thing to do, is perhaps to either play the pawn here or to move the knight out or something to that effect. But I didn't do any of those things. I played bishop c4 because I figured, fine, I'll defend this pawn and my opponent will have to do something in order to get it back. My opponent played c6. Now what's good about this is the fact that I can take this pawn, which is what I did. So now I'm up 1 already. My opponent plays knight takes, so he's got a lead in development, and in exchange, I have a pawn. So I played knight f3 because I want a castle. He plays e5, and I play castles, because if he's going to be coming out and getting me, I at least want my king to be safe. My opponent plays bishop b6, and the threat here is always to attack this knight and then to attack this pawn. So if he ever, for example, moves his queen to c7, that's what I have to be worried about. And that suggests that perhaps I should play something like d4 here, but I played d3, which is the best move. d4 induces some trades, and then perhaps there's a discovery here, and things get a little awkward. My opponent played bishop g4, which the computer wanted him to for a while, and I played bishop g5. It wanted him to play h6 to defend against the threat, and it wants me to play h3 to kick this bishop out, which we'll see later. My opponent plays knight d4, and so now he's got 2 attackers on this knight, and unless I want to lose a queen for a piece or just totally ruin my kingside structure, I have to play the response that I did play, which is knight bd2. So that's going well. My opponent castled, and I spent a while trying to figure out what to do here, and the answer is probably just to play c3. At least that's what I did. It wants me to play h3 and g4. I didn't do that right now. My opponent played knight takes, and I played knight takes, and so now I'm in a good position, right? I should be fine. This pin is a little bit annoying, and I am constantly worried about this. My opponent plays rook ac8, and now this becomes a real threat because not only does it attack the knight, but if this pawn ever takes, then he's threatening the bishop. So I played h3 because I can attack his bishop first. If he pushes something like here, then I can play takes. And even if he plays takes, then I can just take with my queen and things are fine. I can even take with the pawn. I'm sort of spoiled for choice there. That's to my advantage. My opponent plays bishop h5, and the computer wants me to go g4. Just get this bishop off this diagonal, then I can move places now. Like, things are good. Queen e2 is just as good as far as the move is concerned. I still have an advantage here. Things are fine. My opponent played e4. Now, the thing I was worried about is I saw takes, and I'm losing a piece. And the other thing that I saw was takes with the pawn. Now, this is what I should have played, because I still have this pin here. If I can never force queen trades, it doesn't matter that this is happening. Like, as long as I don't get attacked, I'm still up a pawn. It doesn't matter that it's doubled, because I can use the 3-on-2 over on the queen side to my advantage. And he can't... I guess I'm up 2 pawns in this position. So, even though my king's a little bit exposed, I should be able to defend fine. However, that's not what was played. I played queen takes e4. And the thing that I was seeing here was knight takes, bishop takes, pawn takes, rook takes, and pawn takes. And in this position, you can see things are great for me. So like the thing that I thought I had calculated goes great. Like that's excellent. Now the move that's not there is bishop takes. He doesn't have to play that, and so then I don't have an extra pawn attacking this knight, so I can't leave this pawn here defending my bishop. So he plays rook takes, and then I can't play this, or else I lose my bishop. So I played bishop d5, and so now like I'm totally losing, but we're gonna see how I lose. And he just moves his knight back, so now he's threatening this pawn. So I play d4, and he moves his knight back to here. Now I don't want to trade because even though I can do something like this, it's like not really to my advantage. So I play g4, and this is apparently even like more losing. But I wanted to play bishop g6, and I wanted to at some point be able to do this. And if he goes back, then I can. So if I can get something like this in, if I can get something like this in, then, oh, well, that doesn't work because this moved forward. All right. I was just totally hallucinating in this position. I mean, I was already losing, so I was like, we might as well lose quickly, which is dumb. I should have tried to fight better, but I was in no mood. I was not doing a great job here tonight, guys. I've got to be honest. The end of the tournament, not going well. This is kind of a heartbreaker, too, because it loses me most of my rating points that I worked so hard for this entire tournament. So I played bishop takes b7. My opponent plays rook b8, and I move my bishop back because he's going to take the pawn on b2. So we traded pawns. This is not really to my advantage. And then I played h4, and this is also bad. My opponent plays knight f4. I moved bishop b3 first. And that's fine. I'm locking his rook in here, so potentially I can do something like this and eventually get there if I can kick this knight out. But things are bad here. And my opponent plays bishop e4. And so now this is threatening mate here because I can't move forward. And if I move sideways, then he just takes. And if I move, I guess, here, is the only move. But I only saw this, so I just played knight here, which still defends this square. And the problem is that his knight can go to 2 different squares with check. So he went here, and that was checkmate. And that was it. So guys, I guess I just have to apologize because I didn't give it my best effort this time. I'm really disappointed in myself. But I appreciate y'all being here for the ride. I'm not playing tomorrow. I'm going to take that flight instead of paying extra money to stick around and play one more game. I'd like to be home. I miss my girlfriend, and I'm kind of tired of playing chess. I need to go home and spend a few days sort of recouping and not being busy from 9 in the morning until midnight every night. So, I'm going to do that. But this has been fun. Once the game results are posted tomorrow morning, I'll get up and I'll give you guys how that went and what my final rating is. Depending on how my opponents from games 2 and 4 did, I might still be able to come out of this with some 1 points. If their ratings don't change at all, then I think I'm plus 18 on the tournament, which is not the worst. It's not as well as I was hoping to do, especially given that I almost beat several 1800 rated players. But my break will come. We'll get there. I just need to practice a little bit more. This is still only my 3rd tournament. So I'll see you guys in the morning, and we'll discuss the rest then. Good night, guys.
Hey folks, I've got to make this quick because I've got a plane to catch. It looks like Peyton, our opponent from game 2, won against a 1496, so he's up to 1465. Good for him. And Harrison won against a 1381. Is that right? Yeah, he got a win against a 1381, so he's 1399. So that means that we are 1273. So even though we lost to a 950, we're still up 27 points, something like that. Hard to complain about that. Anyways, I don't really have time to ruminate. Maybe I'll make a recap video of the entire tournament and what I've learned. Let me know if that's something you want. Otherwise, I'll catch you guys next time I'm playing chess. Peace out.